you a question. When you have a personal conflict with someone, how do you handle it?
Chances are you spend a great deal of time negotiating a compromise, or maybe you just argue until one of you walks away the winner.
Well, what if you have an issue with, say, a mechanic, a retail store, a plumbing contractor? How do you resolve it?
What if it's more serious? You get sued by a neighbor, audited by the IRS, or have your identity stolen. Where do you turn?
Do you have the power to influence a national auto chain or a multi-million-dollar clothing store? Or do you even know what to do in front of a judge, an IRS auditor, or a credit repository?
Wouldn't it be great if you did?
Well, you can. There's a visionary company that's leveling the playing field, balancing the power for you, for me, and all North Americans. The company is PrePaid Legal Services Incorporated. Located in the heart of Oklahoma, they've been working to balance the power for people just like you for over 30 years. In fact, more than 1.5 million members and their families live stronger, safer, and with greater peace of mind as a member of PrePaid Legal.
Well, prepaid legal is the same thing to attorney's fees that medical insurance would be to doctor bills. I founded the company in 1972 because I realized that there was a real need for middle-income Americans to have access to the legal system, that they were basically shut out of the legal system because they just could not afford the price. So that's what the prepaid legal service membership does. It makes legal services affordable to middle-income America.
Some of you might hear prepaid legal and think, I've lived my whole life without having an attorney. Why would I pay in advance for something that I've never needed?
Well, because it's not about whether you absolutely have to have an attorney. It's about whether having an attorney could make a difference by empowering you to make better decisions, resolve conflict, and have peace of mind.
Bad things happen to good people, and good people get into situations that just require an attorney.
We have legal situations all the time, but we don't think of them as legal situations.
It makes me feel wonderful to have the protection and peace of mind and to have someone watching my back.
They've truly balanced the scales, leveled the field.
It gives everybody out there access for pennies on the dollar to be able to get access to good advice and counsel so they can make good decisions and get ahead like everybody else.
Prepaid legal is awesome.
Think about it. If you were told one thing, but the lease you signed says another, who has the power?
And when that furniture you just bought falls apart and the manufacturer won't honor the warranty because they don't believe your story, who has the power?
When the dry cleaner ruins your favorite shirt and tells you it was dropped off that way, who has the power?
Well, if they have an attorney and you don't, they have the power. But who's going to hire an attorney at a few $100s an hour over a $200 repair or a $40 shirt?
You just won't do it, and they know it. It's not about who's right or what's fair. It's about who has the power.
Well, with prepaid legal services, you have the power. It's a balance of power that protects your legal rights.
You know, having a prepaid legal membership allows you not to be pushed around. You know, it allows you to push back and stand up for your rights.
They can help better the outcome of many situations where you wouldn't normally leaf through the yellow pages at $100, $200, $3 an hour and pick up the phone and call an attorney.
The first area of coverage is preventive legal service. And there are several benefits in this area, all designed to help you prevent legal situations from becoming a legal crisis. First, you get toll-free phone consultations on an unlimited number of matters. That means anytime you have a question, you can get answers. Not sure how to handle a situation at your kid's school? Call your attorney. Want some advice before you file a complaint with the city? Call your attorney.
Your attorney will also make phone calls and write letters on your behalf. If your attorney decides that a phone call or a letter from them is the best thing to do, they'll make the call or write the letter. Imagine how much easier it is to persuade that mechanic or contractor when they get a letter from your attorney.
Contract and document review is another great benefit under preventive legal service. Your provider lawyer will review an unlimited number of personal legal documents, up to 10 pages each, every year. If you're leasing a car, buying a house, or simply don't understand a warranty you received, have your attorney take a look before you sign. You might be surprised at what you're agreeing to.
The final benefit of the preventive legal services coverage is will preparation. As a prepaid legal member, you can have your will prepared and then have it reviewed and updated each year at no additional charge. Covered family members can also have their will prepared for only $20. This is one of the most important steps you can take to protect your family. But 7 out of 10 Americans haven't done it, usually because, like most other legal issues, it's expensive. But getting the advice and assistance you need shouldn't be a financial decision.
We empower people legally as well as economically.
Justice doesn't have to be green anymore. I just pick up the phone and I call my provider attorney, and I know that I'm going to get the competent legal advice that I need before I make decisions.
This is really built for people to use every single day if they want to, if they need to.
Just knowing that I can pick up the phone, whether it's a $20 issue or a $150 issue, is just really empowering.
We felt taken advantage of, but at the same time we felt powerless until we finally realized and remembered what power we did have.
Once you experience it, then you'll see the true power of it, and it'll be something that will allow you and your family to have equal access to the justice system.
There really is no limit to the number of ways prepaid legal members have saved time and money and heartache by using their preventive legal services. Time and time again, one phone consultation, one letter written on your behalf, or even the preparation of a will can save you enough money to pay for your membership for several years. But this is just one area of coverage. There are many more areas available to you as a prepaid legal member.
The second area of coverage is motor vehicle legal services. The first thing most people think of is traffic court. And yes, this area provides assistance with moving traffic violations. Now, if you get caught speeding, you'll most likely pay a fine or court costs. But having legal assistance can often help you keep points off your record and keep your insurance costs down. We also understand that bad things happen to good people. And unfortunately, automobile accidents can lead to such charges as manslaughter or vehicular homicide. So, if you ever need to defend yourself against these serious charges, your provider lawyer will be there for you at no additional cost.
Now, it's important to note that the motor vehicle legal services are available 15 days after enrollment, and that they aren't designed to give you permission to be reckless or irresponsible. I mean, your driver's license needs to be valid. Your vehicle must be properly licensed, and DUI, DWI, and certain other charges won't be covered under the benefit. But they will be covered under the consultation benefit and the discounted services we'll get to in a few minutes. The next area of coverage is trial defense services. Know anybody that's been sued? It can be incredibly stressful and financially devastating. Under this benefit, you and your spouse are covered for civil suits or job-related criminal charges. As a new member, you start with 75 hours of attorney time, divided as 17.5 hours for pretrial and 57.5 hours for actual trial time. Each year, that number increases until the 5th year when it reaches 335 hours. Now, this isn't trial time for divorce or child custody or things like bankruptcy. Instead, those are covered as part of the consultation benefit and discounted legal services.
It's difficult to put a value on the trial defense services portion of the membership. I mean, what would you have to pay if you didn't have a prepaid legal membership? 75 hours could cost anywhere from $15,000 to $30,000. Your total membership fees for 5 years wouldn't even come close to that amount.
Another potentially expensive legal situation is an IRS audit. And with a prepaid legal membership, you'll have assistance if you receive that dreaded notice from the IRS that you've been selected for a tax audit. To be clear, we're talking about the family plan, so this is for personal tax audits, not corporate or business tax returns. Your first instinct might be to call your CPA, which could help, but when it comes to an IRS audit, you need someone experienced in tax law.
Well, that covers the benefits of the prepaid legal family plan. As you've listened, I'm sure it's been easy to see the value of becoming a member. Of course, there are certain conditions and exclusions with each area of coverage, but any legal issue that doesn't fall within the benefits we've talked about is covered. It falls in what we call the preferred member discount.
Now, don't forget you already have access to phone consultations on an unlimited number of matters, but if you still need assistance for a situation that isn't part of the other areas of coverage, you'll receive a 25% discount off the provider firm's standard hourly rate.
So let me ask you this. How much would you be willing to pay for all of these benefits? $100 a month? $200 a month?
Let's turn the question around. If you went to an attorney and outlined our plan, how much do you think they'd charge? $200 an hour?
Traditional legal services aren't cheap. That's why they're usually seen as a privilege reserved for the very wealthy. But they're also important enough for us as a society to provide public defenders for the very poor.
And that leaves about 80% of us with a tremendous need for legal advice, representation, and protection at a price that won't affect our everyday lives. Welcome to Prepaid Legal Services.
All the benefits we've outlined are available for only $25 a month.